Hey guys, it's Krishanti with Krishanti.com, talking all about spirituality and psychic development and personal growth. I do a new video every week, so if you like this topic, please subscribe and hit the like button. And what I want to chat about today is something that Louise asked me to cover, which is coming out of the spiritual closet. Basically, it's like, there's more to life than what we see before our eyes. You believe in maybe reincarnation and spirit guides and magical things and other realities and other dimensions and like just all of this stuff. That we're all psychic and intuitive, I think, is a given. If you're checking out my channels, it's all about that stuff. So you're all into this and you want to start to talk about it with other people, but you don't know if they're open or if they're going to believe, or if you say something and they're going to think you're totally weird and stuff and shut it all down. And that's such a valid thing. In fact, I'm wearing this shirt, this Joy Division shirt. They're a band that is a really cool band. And I'm like, tried to do this video like 3 times, so this is or more, but I kept messing up and stuff. But I'm wearing this because way back when I was in high school, I was super alternative and goth. I had like purple hair and then I dyed it black, and I was like always wearing all black and all these band t-shirts, The Cure and Susie and the Banshees, and like a bunch of other stuff. And basically one alternative gothy person would see another one and we're into the same thing, and you're like, oh, there's another like cool person or whatever, and it was easy to like to connect. It was funny because I wore this on a international trip not too long ago, and people at the airport, like these people like looked at me and smiled. I was like, why are they looking at me? And then I thought, oh, they're into this band too. So it's kind of an iconic graphic, this image. One of my psychic friends, I realized it's so cool. She actually has it on the back of her phone, which is really neat. But it was so easy back then to identify. And when you're younger, maybe it is easier. I don't know nowadays, kids, but with a psychic thing, unless you're like covered in crystals and having like this certain look. And I did a whole video on the spiritual look, if you want to check that out. Unless you're really like out there with like what you're into, it's going to be hard to know if someone's receptive or not. So in the other videos that I rambled on for a long time on and then like couldn't use because I messed up and stuff, I was talking about how my whole path and how I did it all. But now that I'm thinking about it, let's just make this easy and all about you and what you can do. I would say, first things first, mention something soft, like a soft topic. Like for me, what came up with a lot of my friends was the reincarnation thing, or spirits. Or you can say something like, oh, that show with Tyler the Medium, or Monica the Medium, I don't know if that's still on, or the Long Island Medium, or one of those things, and say like, well, what do you think about that? And if that person is like, well, I think that's interesting, or their response isn't like a shut you down response, it's a more open response, then you can start to open the door and chat a little bit more about that. And it might be easier with friends that you already have to open the door and see what they think, especially if you're just like relaxing and you're hanging out and stuff. I would say though, if you're just coming out of the closet, because this is so special and it's so easy to get shut down, like, because I remember being shut down, like I would say something about psychic, whatever, and a few people were like, well, I don't believe in that, or are really closed-minded about it, and then it made me doubt myself. I would say just be very, very cautious and careful so that you don't get shut down. And so if they're not responsive, just leave it and go on. In the workplace, same thing, just like a soft topic like reincarnation or even just meditation or energy is a fun thing too. And in a lot of circles, the energy word is very, very big. Like people are using that. My point of view of the world is what I'm seeing is this is coming up more and more and more. What's interesting to me, though, is how many people really understand it at a deeper level, or are they just tossing this around to be hip and cool? And I live in LA, so image is a thing. And so some people will be like they're into a thing, but are you really? Anyway, I digress. But yeah, just start with the soft things, and then look for groups, look for energy shares, like Reiki shares, a nice, easy way to get in to a group of nice people who are interested in all of this. Where I live, again, there's like tons of groups and resources, and there people are doing sound baths everywhere, and there's a whole meditation place like right around the corner from me, where people are going. So hopefully that'll mean that more of these places are propping up everywhere else. But look for like a yoga place, or even, of course, a spiritual bookstore that has events and lectures. Or look for I'm trying to think. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Look for a holistic health place, like where they're interested in juices and tonics. And then maybe someone there will be talking about Eastern medicine or Qigong or something like different. Also, wherever they're talking about astrology, that's another thing that might be helpful, like meeting people through that kind of thing. If you live in a place where there's absolutely nothing like that at all, why don't you start one? Like start a book discussion meetup group, or a tarot group, or something, a meditation group, and see if people come. I, at the beginning, used to do that too. I would have groups and people came, and I made a couple of friends through that. Now that I've become more, I guess I'd have to say more confident, that I know and trust my beliefs. I trust what's happened to me, and what, luckily through my work, what other people have said and what's happened with them. I feel like I'm more interested in connecting with like-minded people than concerned about people who aren't going to get it. So it's a shift in consciousness and a shift in energy. And speaking of energy, when you set your intention to connect with like-minded people, imagine that you're sending out a signal, and that you want to bring in people who will resonate with that beam of light. And they will come, because people who have the gift or the spark or are interested are by all means looking for like-minded people. So keep that in mind, like they're looking for you too. And just by putting the call out, the little cosmic shout out, they will come. And yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of what else to say that other than those tips or ideas. Circling back to more of my personal experiences, luckily, the new parent friends that I meet, I do still have that fear, like, are they going to think I'm weird, and is that going to impact my son? Again, because I live in Los Angeles, there's a lot of people that are more in, I would say more open-minded. I mean, California has a reputation for that. And a few of my mom friends are very receptive and open. And how that conversation started, I think I kind of tested the water by saying what I do on a very lukewarm level, meditation and intuition, and like those kind of softer words. I don't use the P word, the psychic thing, because I feel like that has such a negative connotation. But people will start to come forward with their stories. Like one of the moms who I just love, has talked about numerology and astrology, and her mother-in-law is Indian and is super into astrology. So we talk about that, and then about energy and about spirits. And like as our friendship has developed, I find I can just say things or talk about my experiences, and she listens with an open mind, and that is such a wonderful gift. So it can happen very, very easily. And in this case, because we are all energy, if we put out that energy that we want to bring in like-minded souls, that will absolutely happen. And you can even take it a step further and ask for soulmate souls. And when I say that, I mean people who are of a similar pod or path or group, a certain evolutionary consciousness that of course you will be a part of. So if you just say, like, just kind of ring that little bell and ask them to come, they will come. And more people are opening up to this. I've found more and more people, maybe it's just my bubble that I'm in, or maybe it's because I have so much of an intention to bring in more like very high level, high energy, and by high energy I mean good, kind, loving people who are positive, who don't speak negatively about other people, who aren't critical, who are just open. Anyway, I'm all sorry, my voice is kind of tired. I feel like I'm getting tired because I had done those other videos before, but more of those people will come. So if you get in the mind frame too that it can be very easy, it will be. And you'll find even in the churchy places, like I have a friend, another soulmate friend. These people, you'd start to realize people are soulmate friends when it's like, wow, you've been in my life for almost 20 years now and I love you. And it's awesome. But she's hilarious. She's Catholic and so into all this, and her brother's into all of it. And it's just so much fun. You'll see too, it seems like the people who are into this stuff are fun. Or maybe I've just set the intention that I want those fun people in, because there can be people that aren't, and who needs that? So I don't want to get into that because I'm going to just keep rambling on and on and on. But I guess basically in a nutshell, what I was trying to say with that is you get to decide who you want to play with. And in this whole realm of people who are open to all of this wonderful stuff, you can bring in exactly the type of people that you want to share this with, and that will make it even more fun. And I know firsthand because it has worked for me, so I'm sure it can and will work for you. And I support you on your path, and I wish you all the best of luck, because life is so much more fun and happy and enjoyable when you can share it with like-minded people. And there are a lot of us out there. So that's it for today. Thanks for hanging out and watching. If there are things that you want me to cover, as I said before, I do a video every single week. So email me, and it's ask@krishanti.com, or put it in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube. And I think that's all for now, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.